What's up, y'all? In California with it. Basically, I'm on a motherfucking work trip, you know what I'm saying? Got some business to attend to, you know what I'm saying? Meet with some smart people, some shady people. But yeah, right now I just checked into the hotel, just got off my flight. Right now I'm just trying to find some grub. I dropped off my bags at the hotel. But yeah, I'll take y'all with me. We can explore, and I actually got a topic that I want to talk about today in regards to, you know, what I'm currently doing and what I'm building towards and next. But yeah, this is California, but yeah, I'll take y'all with me. All right, y'all, so I'm going to In-N-Out right now. It's currently a 46-minute walk, and basically in this walk I'm gonna be explaining currently where we at with Angelic and overall the entire brand as a whole, and just to get some more clarity, because I had some people like texting me and stuff on asking like, what's the deal with Angelic, why is the website down, things of that nature. Basically, to put it simply, I'm shutting down Angelic. Now this may come as a shock to some people may not care, but for those who do, or wondering the reason why and my thought process behind that, it's more so I felt like I reached a limit in a sense, in the sense of when I was analyzing, you know, all the billion-dollar companies and really like the end goal that I want to have with my business and with life in general, I just didn't see Angelic laddering up to that, you know, from a very pragmatic, aware standpoint. And when you look at all the top brands that are distributing, you know, billions and billions of dollars a year in terms of profit volume, none of them are really streetwear brands, you know what I'm saying? And the apparel brands that are, they're more so basic streetwear brands, or they're more so basic apparel brands, so just basically selling basic clothing, right? And essentially with that, right, it's just more so from a TAM perspective, right? So TAM essentially means total addressable market, and essentially with Angelic, you know, I found that, you know, obviously it's streetwear, right? And even within streetwear, there's different subsections and different niches and different target audiences of ICPs, and basically inherently the business model is not that good of a business model from a cash flow perspective, from a SKU logistics perspective, and even just from overall unit economics perspective. And, you know, just analyzing and really looking at other businesses in this space that have rocket ship growth and really taking it to the next level, I just didn't see Angelic being there. Now, I say this to say that, right? Before Angelic, I actually had another apparel brand, but it was a gym brand. And actually that brand, I grew to like 100K followers on both Instagram and TikTok in the span of like a little under a year. And then from there, that was kind of my first learning lessons and stepping stones to really like getting into the e-commerce space or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And really with that kind of propelled me to where I'm at now. But even just reading like my books, you know what I'm saying, because this really shaped a lot of perspective for me as a whole leading up to this decision. One being primarily The Goal by Dr. Goldratt. And essentially in that book, it basically breaks down the theory of constraints. And essentially he's talking about, you know, at the end of the day, a business goal is to make money, right? We can get caught up in the intraday things and really optimize for the wrong KPIs and metrics, whether that be return on ad spend, whether that be all these fictitious vanity metrics, right? But when we really break it down, right, what is the business purpose, right? Obviously it's to make money. On a deeper level, what is, you know, a layer deeper, and that's really just to generate profit. And then when you really break that down, it's like, why do you want your business to generate profit? And that's essentially just so you can have free cash flow that you can distribute and essentially unlock freedom, financial freedom, location, time freedom, etc., right? So when I was looking at Angelic, it was more so it was sucking up so much time, and it wasn't really laddering up to that final goal in terms of freedom. And I know everything is a process, right? But even just like I said, reading the books that I've been reading, and primarily with Elon Musk, right? In his book by Walter Isaacson, basically breaking down, you know, the story of his life. And essentially in that book, it breaks down like all the different business models and different risks and everything that he took, you know what I'm saying, to really make it to where he's at now. And even Peter Thiel, founder of PayPal, you know, 0 to 1. In that book, he just talks about being in the right business model. And then Brad Jacobs on how to make a few $1 billion, right? Essentially just saying that you have to be in the right industry and just really just, you know, analyzing the market from an objective, you know, standpoint. Because at the end of the day, right, Alex Hormozi talks about this a lot. Essentially, you know, learning or intelligence is measured as a rate of learning, right? So if he holds up a red card and then he smacks the shit out of you, right, then by the second, third time that he holds up the red card, you should be able to have the, you know, foresight and knowledge and learning to dodge, right? So really, you know, just analyzing from that standpoint and really just separating my ego and my pride, because obviously it's my baby, right? But really just looking at it from that standpoint is it was a really tough decision, you know, obviously emotionally and what have it, but just from an objective standpoint, you know, when you really have to analyze all the moves on the chessboard, it was a no-brainer. And so now I'm just currently, you know, working on some other ventures right now. That's why I'm actually in Cali right now, because I'm actually doing some business work behind the scenes. I'm gonna reveal that real soon. But yeah, just really taking it from that perspective, and even talking to like the clients that I mentor or whatever, it's just like the thing is so little, like in the grand scheme of things. Because I just took access of a Shopify store that did $185 million in revenue last year. You know what I'm saying? And then I got people, you know, and I'm not saying this to bash on anybody, but it's like, and then I got people, you know, asking about streetwear brands specifically on how to start running ads, or how do I do my first drop. You know what I'm saying? And obviously it's levels, but you know, I don't want to operate at that beginner stage or be capped out in that beginner stage. Because even looking at like the streetwear brands, you know, in the niche that I was in, it was like rarely, if any, brands were doing 100K plus a month, and then even if that, they're not making any profit. And it's like, that's not the space I want to operate in. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I want free cash flow to owner distributions. You know what I'm saying? I want fucking cash in the pocket, in the hand, so we can scale, you know what I'm saying, and really run it up, you know what I'm saying, for business and life. You know, so really taking it a step back from that approach, you know what I'm saying, really having the foresight and the intuition, the knowledge and the courage to pivot, right? Because that's really what you have to battle, you know, the two decisions on whether you should persist or whether to pivot. And I think that takes intuition, right? And you learn that over time, right? Because obviously, in order for something to happen, in order for something to work out, you still have to pursue and persist, right? And will it into happen, to making it happen. But you know, I got to that certain time where, okay, I know I gotta pivot. You know, I felt like I had outgrown Angelic in that sense, and that the growth in terms of, and when I say this, let me backpedal a step. I'm not saying that I couldn't have grown Angelic more, but it's more so from a standpoint of, you have to look at opportunity costs, right? And just think of like all the businesses we see on a day-to-day basis, whether we're driving or walking down the street, right? Let's say we see a daycare or a restaurant, right? The owner of that business is still putting in 40, 80, 100 hours a week, right? But what's the difference between them, you know, struggling to pay bills, right, versus someone who's on a yacht and who has 50 mil in their bank account? You know what I'm saying? It's not really necessarily the amount of effort, it's more so about the vehicle that they're in and the overall leverage that they have. So it's really important to really choose the right vehicle. And yeah, so just really taking advantage of that, and also just really being aware and perspicacious, right, of the overall trends in the market and the overall environment in the market right now. Because there's always going to be areas of opportunity and areas of arbitrage, whether that be TikTok shop, whether that be, you know, AI, whether that be what have it, you know what I'm saying? But there's always going to be areas of arbitrage. Sorry, I don't know if the mic was fucked up because I had it back there, but it should be better now. But yeah, there's always going to be areas of arbitrage. Yeah, I'm currently on this walk right now in California. I like Cali. It's sunny like Florida, so that's good. You got nice greenery. But yeah, just basically having the ability, right? Because at the end of the day, right, that's all that people want. You know, Ty Lopez talks about the 4 M's of motivation, you know, when it comes to motivations in people's lives and what really drives them, you know, for certain things. One being movement, so essentially that's freedom aspect. Number 2 being mastery, right? That's essentially you want to get really good at something and become like an artist, essentially, in the sense that you just obsess over one thing. Number 3 is mating, right? Essentially, you are really motivated by relationships. romantic or non-romantic. And then number 4 is slipping my mind right now. But yeah, just from my perspective, right? I'm a movement motivated individual, right? Number 4 is materialistic, right? So if you're motivated by material things, right? But material things are cool and all, but it's really the experience that the material things, give. Really, they don't really have any inherent value. But yeah, just going back to that, my motivation and driver for life is really movement, which is essentially freedom, right? So the freedom to be able to be in California right now, on a Sunday afternoon, and just vlog and create content and do what I do, So that's that aspect, right? But yeah, you just really have to know what you want in life, right? And I think that was a very sobering book for me to read. That was one of the few books this year and of last year, and even in all my collections, that I really gave a 5 out of 5 stars. And that's The Goal by Dr. Goldratt. And that really just helped really hone in and really look at it from a first principles perspective, and really look at really what I want out of life, and really what led me and planted that seed for the pivot out of Angelic. So that being said, I'm still doing some consulting, still helping on that side of things, and I also got some things working in the background. Obviously still have that founder spirit, right? But yeah, just being able to trust yourself and be able to learn and just grow, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a game, right? And I just look at it as like I said, a game where you can choose what actions you want to do, you can choose what attributes you want to have, you can choose whether you want to be fit, you can choose whether you know how to fight, you can choose whether you want to have a lot of money. There's a lot of options and choices in life. It's just a matter of planning and then execution. So with that being said, I guess I'll just turn it back to y'all and take y'all through my little trip through California or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of been on my mind. That's really been on my mind. But let me know if you guys like more talking head videos, because I know me personally, right? I was a big fan of Ty Lopez, and even still am a fan of him, and even a lot of other controversial figures. I tend to be drawn to those individuals, who kind of rub people off the wrong way or are controversial in a sense, right? Which is kind of interesting in that aspect, right? Because those naturally polarizing figures, right? You just kind of have to see, like, why are they polarizing? Like, I know my brother was talking about how Brez did a video on YouTube talking about like entrepreneurs, or one entrepreneur versus 20 9-to-5 workers or some shit, and just to see the stark contrast in people's mindsets and overall thinking and thought processes and principles. It's just very concerning, and principles are very important, and your thought processes are very important. I read a book called Principles by Ray Dalio, Deca Billionaire, and essentially that was this whole schema of really just having these hardcore fundamental principles, guiding principles that really just ruled and operated him throughout life. That really allowed him to build one of the best hedge funds in the world, and make deca billions of dollars. So really just having that fundamentals on that aspect side of things. But yeah, it's a beautiful day in Cali. I'll say that. I also like to explore the world, and eventually get to that point where I can have different houses, and really operate a life where I can just choose where I want to go, be where I want to be on that sense of things, and really picking your guides and picking your mentors. Like, I know for me, even personally, I know I said I like Ty Lopez just off the fact that, he had, kind of that digital entrepreneur lifestyle, in that sense, and I also kind of like how Tate and his his unapologetic, characteristics and personality, and the other figures in this space, So it's just like, you can pick up different nuggets from different individuals to kind of create and curate your own character, like I said, because at the end of the day, it's just a game. Look at this shit. This shit like burned down or some shit. I don't know what happened there. I do some construction. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. You feel me? It's just a game. That's why I do MMA, right? Because I want to learn how to fight. Like, if I was in GTA or any type of game, I want to max out all my stats. So that's why I do that. what I'm saying? I want to get the most amount of money. I want to get the most amount of houses, you know what I'm saying? And you might see these as material things, but it really goes beyond that. It's more so from a standpoint of, you know, you have always options in life, right? A, you know, you can bullshit. B, you cannot bullshit. And it's really that, you know, simple and binary from that perspective, because at the end of the day, we know what we should and shouldn't be doing. And it's a matter of just discipline from that aspect. And really all discipline comes from is just, you know, the character and the habit to do something that you necessarily don't want to do, right? And really the unlock there is really starting to enjoy the things, right, that other people don't enjoy. So when I mean that, Brandon Carter talks about this a lot. It doesn't require discipline for him to go to the gym, right? Because it actually hurts or sucks for him more to not go to the gym. You feel me? Because it makes him feel less than. You feel me? If that makes sense. So like once you get in a certain like mode and schema and operating, you know what I'm saying, you'll kind of have those realizations. Like for me personally, like if I don't read my hour a day, you feel what I'm saying, or if I don't, you know what I'm saying, do what I have to do, or if I don't go to MMA, or if I don't go to the gym, you feel me, I feel like shit, Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just from that standpoint, it's like it takes more discipline for me not to go to the gym than to go to the gym, because I actually enjoy going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's those tiny fundamental things, and it's really all foundational. Because even the guys that I seen make money in the e-com space, so I talk to a lot of these guys, right? They really a lot of the characters that you would kind of admire or want in someone. You know what I'm saying? If you were building out a creative player, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you really gotta have the fundamentals, and that's kind of what I built when I was in college. You know what I'm saying? Like in college, I really focused on my fundamentals. Like I remember I got on the tape, you know what I'm saying, way before he even started popping. You feel me? And that shit just like turned me up from a mindset perspective. And yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me. The fucking freeways right here. Fucking freeways right here. But yeah, that turned me on. No Diddy, nigga. But that turned me up, you know what I'm saying, from a mindset perspective, right? Because I already had, you know, some of those like disciplines and some of those thinkings and processes, right, from football and athletics and track and things of that nature, right, that you naturally gain, and even through academics, right? Because I always like to challenge myself and give everything effort, right? But yeah, I just really honed in, you know, once I went to college and really, you know, was isolated. You know, I was in a town full of fucking 600 people, total people. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of a whole different mindset and operating, you know, principle, and really a shift for me personally. You know what I'm saying? That really helped me grow a lot. And then from there, I learned the technical things, right? But really, it's the foundation, the fundamentals, and the intangibles that you really can't buy. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's what really impresses me most. You know what I'm saying? From a personal standpoint, like if someone has courage, you know what I'm saying, that impresses me. If someone is a man of the word, you know what I'm saying, that impresses me. If someone who has good character, that impresses me, rather than someone's bank account. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, really having good character, y'all. That's ain't had good character. But yeah, we over here. We got a little shopping plaza or some shit. Yeah, I'm not trying to. See, I gotta fix my language right there. See, that's another example. You gotta be able to analyze your mistakes and analyze why you made those mistakes to really use that feedback loop so you don't make mistakes in the future. For example, if I almost crashed into somebody, right? So like yesterday, I didn't really almost crash, but like it got to an uncomfortable position, right, while I was driving, and I analyzed that, right, rather than just like letting it go by. And I more so sat there and I was like, damn, I didn't like how close, you feel me, I was to that individual. Why was I that close to that individual? Oh, because I was trying to do something on my phone in that split second. So in the future, I should download, right, and make sure that I'm not on my phone and distracted while driving, and only go to my phone on a red light to change something. You feel what I'm saying? So like those small tiny things And they kind of just add up, you know what I'm saying? They kind of just add up. Let's see where we're at. I've just been walking, but yeah, we gotta go straight. We gotta cross the street here. But yeah, guiding principles, guiding principles, guiding principles, guiding principles. And then this year, more specifically from a financial perspective, really want to invest more into the S&P, you know what I'm saying? Really the stocks and really the unliquid assets, you feel what I'm saying? So more so, I already invested in like Vanguard and shit like that, you feel me? But trying to get more into that. Like, I have a goal to like hit like 6 figures. So I know my mentor Nick Therio, he runs ads, and he was doing like 100K a month with his program, you feel me? And he was just like what's it called, he was dumping all that bread into the S&P, you feel me? So like on a yearly basis he was gaining like 7 figures just off that, you feel what I'm saying? And that's inspiring for me to see, you know what I mean? I know a couple other guys making a lot of money in info specifically, and that's another like area that I want to tap into, just from a perspective of, you know, it's always good to give back, and it's super hella profitable, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know like the numbers of a lot of guys who sell info, they be printing, you know what I'm saying? The beauty about that is that shit is mostly profit, you feel me? Versus like e-commerce, you have products, right? And then even the profit that you do get, which, you know, if you're lucky, 10 to 20%, right? That you can't put that in your pocket, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to reinvest that into inventory, into future growth for the brand. So really, like, free cash flow owner distributions, you're really not taking home nothing, you know what I'm saying, if you really have a strong growing brand, you know what I mean? So that's really the complexities on that side of things, you know. So in terms of free cash flow, it's one of the best business models from that standpoint, but in terms of enterprise value and equity value and overall impact on the world, you know, that's really where that brand building, that long-term vision and that long-term goal comes into mind. Just for me personally, I'm building something that I can like be proud of and be like, yeah, that's my brand, you feel me? And I think that's what you kind of see with like these guys in info, right? They kind of try to shift into the brand building aspect and leverage their audiences and influence to sell a physical product or whatever, right? To really build that brand equity, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting how different people approach it different ways. But yeah, let me see where we're at. We gotta bust a right. Gotta bust a right. I'm in the road now. All right, let's see. I'm in the road now. Let me not get ran over. Let me not get ran over. But yeah. I'm actually go to this mall. So I'm gonna pick up the camera when I'm back in the mall. Made it, y'all. The burger look good. That bill was only $12. We got 44 minutes back to the hotel. What up, y'all? So this is the hotel room. As you can see here, I'm just gonna give y'all a quick little tour. So I was just actually ironing some clothes. That's why I got the iron over there. But yeah, this is basically 2 beds, you feel me? But it's just me though. We got the closet, just iron the clothes to get ready for the week. And then we got also our shoes over there, the usual, you feel me? Got my little workstation over here. Brought my MX Master mouse. My 2 laptops right here. Yeah. So right now I'm just fixing to head to the city again because I'm actually quite hungry again. So I'm gonna head over there to see what they got going. And then yeah, I'm gonna take y'all with me. But yeah, it's a basically week in LA. What up, y'all? Day 2. Currently already showered, went to the gym, woke up at like 5. It's 5:30. Or I didn't go to the gym, I'm about to go to the gym right now, but I'm showered. After that we had to read our book for an hour and then get some breakfast and then do what we gotta do today in terms of business. But yeah, that's what it's looking like. Take y'all with me. This the gym, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Watching a podcast, 2x connection between plan execution. You feel me? But yeah, I gotta knock out this workout real quick. Yeah. That's what we working with today. But motherfucker poke bowl, nigga. Back at the telly with it. I'm finna chow that motherfucker down real spill. I'm hungry as a bitch. Gotta actually record some videos. It's 6:27 for the personal brand. Also edit them and get them scheduled to post. And then if I got time, edit the vlog. But basically, gonna actually get ready for bed like at around 8 because I had to wake up at 4. Just so I can get ready for the day. Good blessed morning, y'all. It is Wednesday, currently like 6 a.m. About to be 7. Gonna meet up with Tiger Woods and his team. I say Tiger Woods like he finna be there, but basically Tiger Woods' team. Essentially, he has a brand, Sunday Red, and they're out here based in like the LA area. So we're gonna meet up with his team and yeah, discuss some business, discuss AI developments, things of that nature. It's gonna be a fun day. I can't really bring the camera with me, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, cause like, you know, but still gonna try to record what I can. But yeah, that's what we got on the agenda. Kind of cloudy out, but yeah, that's what we got going. Yeah, I'll kick up with y'all. This is the fit of the day, you know what I'm saying? Some calm, some cash, biz cash. You feel what I'm saying? Let me set this up. Yeah, that's what we're working with. Let's get it. It's the workstation. Good blessed morning, y'all. It's like the last real day on Thursday because tomorrow I'm actually heading out. But yesterday was good. I actually went over to the office like I mentioned. Didn't film anything, obviously, but it was a really big office, you know, and there were apparel brands, so that was cool to see, you know, especially with it being Tiger Woods' brand and all that. And like just the amount of capital and resources that they have at that, you know, level, because they're subsidized by like $1 billion brand. But yeah, bro, they had crazy ass office. Feel what I'm saying? Like that shit was like crazy as fuck. And they had all this big ass team. I was in a boardroom and shit, a lot of people and shit. But it was cool. It was a cool experience. You feel what I'm saying? It was like, it's weird because like with my apparel brand, right, Angelic, it was just me and my merry band of fucking pirates. You know what I'm saying? But over there, shit was official. It was like the Navy. You know what I'm saying? They had real like team, a real structure. You know, everything was legit. But that was kind of cool to see. And then yeah, I just really got over like talking with like AI, doing like some workshopping on that side of things. You know, Claude Code, fucking OpenClaw, things of that nature. And then today onboarding a new client. I'm gonna show him some decks and stuff like that. Auditing some meta accounts. I also got another client that I'm working with that's in the 8-figure range. So two strong brands on that side of things. But it's a good learning experience, like always. But yeah, just a lot of work to be done on that side of things. But yeah. What up, y'all? That's a wrap. My work here is done. I leave tomorrow morning. Feel what I'm saying? Gotta catch a flight. Got some meetings to attend to virtually online. But very productive and very insightful week. Got to learn a lot, be surrounded by a lot of smart people. I'll kind of show you guys what I've been working on as well. I've been utilizing AI this entire week. It's kind of what I'm doing right now. Just playing around with Opus and Ghostly in the terminal with Claude Code and things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? It's fun, man. I'll show y'all guys what I got coming, cooking, all that tight shit. You feel me? Real soon. Just watch. But yeah. That's probably it for the video though. Yeah, let me know how you guys like this video. You know, this is more like, I guess, week in the life in the trenches, doing whatever, you feel what I'm saying? But yeah, more business related, you know, as usual. But yeah, I'll catch up with y'all.